On June 11, 2025, Jimin and Jungkook, two golden pieces of BTS, officially completed their 18-month mandatory military service. But this wasn't just a reunion between idols and fans. It was the beginning of a new, more mature and meaningful chapter for two artists once affectionately called the nation's youngest brothers. No longer the boys with innocent smiles. On the morning of June 11th in South Korea, under the soft sunlight of early summer, thousands of BTS fans gathered at the Yeoncheon Public Stadium in Gyeonggi Province. There was no stage, no music, no LED lights, and no dazzling production, just Jimin and Jungkook appearing simply dressed, holding bouquets of flowers, saluting respectfully and shouting from their hearts, Dan-gyeol. A military chant that signifies unity and solidarity. And yet, this unpretentious moment ignited an overwhelming wave of emotion among fans. Because standing before them weren't the glamorous, stage-lit golden boys of yesteryears, but two men who had just fulfilled a sacred duty to their country, returning stronger and more grounded, with a deep resolve in their eyes. Military service as a promise to ARMY. Since their debut, BTS has journeyed with ARMY through many milestones, nerve-wracking beginnings, emotional award nights, and world tours that shook stadiums across continents. But no challenge ever distanced them longer or deeper than mandatory military service. For Jimin and Jungkook, who enlisted in December 2023, the past 18 months were more than duty, they were a quiet promise to their fans: "We'll be back, not just as before, but better." In his first public words after discharge, Jungkook, usually known for his confident presence, shyly admitted, "Today I am not wearing any makeup, so I feel a bit embarrassed. It's been a long time since I've stood in front of a camera, I don't really know what to say." This simple statement reflected his authenticity, humility, and the very charm that keeps Jungkook forever relatable to his fans. Jimin, always heartfelt, added, "Thank you so much for coming to see us. And to ARMY, thank you for waiting through the pandemic and our time in the military." These weren't just expressions of gratitude. They were quiet reaffirmations of the unbreakable bond between artist and fan, a bond resilient through time, distance, and silence. Maturity doesn't come from stage lights, but from shared ARMY meals. What made this return so impactful was the honesty with which they spoke about military life, a subject often glossed over or avoided by celebrities. Jimin didn't shy away from the truth. "Honestly, it wasn't easy. But through hardships, sharing meals, and working hard together, I built deep relationships with the people around me." Behind those words was a new image of Jimin, not the live dancer on stage, but a man eating mess hall meals with fellow soldiers, enduring cold nights and long training days. His simple words reshaped public perception, that even the biggest stars endure discipline, loneliness, and longing in the same way as any other soldier. His gentle message resonated especially with South Koreans: "Now that I've experienced military life, I can say it's not an easy place. If you see a soldier on the street, please consider saying a kind word, it means a lot." The picture we've been preparing, is BTS Chapter 2 here? Perhaps the most exciting message came from Jimin's hint: "Now that we've been discharged, we'll start drawing the picture we've been preparing. We'll show you even greater things from now on." This cryptic promise signals the beginning of BTS's next chapter, one shaped by maturity, inner growth, and a treasure trove of experiences. Fans are eager to see not just new music, but deeper, more introspective artistry. Gone may be the days of carefree anthems about youth and dreams. What awaits could be stories born from hardship, introspection, and the weight of service. With RM&V discharged a day earlier on June 10th, and Suga scheduled to finish on June 21st, 6 out of 7 BTS members are now ready to return. Without grand announcements, the mere presence of Jimin and Jungkook on that summer morning was powerful enough to signal, BTS isn't just back, they're returning with more soul than ever. A new era for BTS, and perhaps for K-pop itself. While BTS was away, the K-pop world shifted, the rise of new generation girl groups, aggressive competition in album sales, and emerging boy groups hoping to fill the gap. Yet over a year has shown that no one could truly replace BTS. Because BTS is not just a group, they are a cultural symbol, representing a generation that believes in grit, resilience, and authenticity. Now, as the artist soldiers begin returning, many believe a renaissance for BTS is dawning, not built on gimmicks, but on lived experience, real stories, and the eternal love between artist and fan. In conclusion, after the military is the beginning, not the end. Jimin and Jungkook didn't choose a fancy concert or massive press event for their return. They chose a quiet morning, a public stadium, and heartfelt words. Yet in that simplicity lay an unforgettable power. Because in the end, what makes BTS isn't just their glittering stage presence. It's their unshakable hearts, beating for music, for army, and for the enduring values they've held on to, whether in military uniforms or in tailored suits. On the morning of June 11, 2025, BTS's Jimin and Jungkook officially completed their military service. But rather than returning with a splashy media event or grand concert, they chose a path few expected, greeting fans in a quietly powerful and deeply personal way that redefined the meaning of idol comeback. No stage, no cameras, just real connection. When word broke that Jimin and Jungkook would be discharged from the military on June 11, millions of armies worldwide braced for an emotional return. But what happened in Yeoncheon, Gyeonggi Province, was far from the flashy spectacle often associated with K-pop idols. After completing their 18-month service with the 5th Infantry Division's Artillery Brigade, the two BTS members didn't host a press conference or plan a live stream. Instead, they traveled quietly to Yeoncheon Public Stadium, not to perform, but to simply meet fans face to face, with no official program, no loud music, no commercial agenda. They appeared holding large bouquets, saluted the crowd, and shouted Dan-gyeol, a military chant signifying unity. The moment, unfiltered and sincere, captured more attention than any choreographed performance could have. A greeting that broke the mold. What made this fan greeting so special wasn't extravagance, but its raw authenticity. Fans had begun gathering at the stadium from dawn, bringing handmade banners and purple balloons. Despite the early hour and minimal announcement, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. When Jimin and Jungkook finally arrived, both looked slightly shy under the media's gaze, a striking contrast to their usual stage confidence. Jungkook, makeup-free, humbly admitted, "It's been a while since I stood in front of a camera. I didn't even put on makeup today, so I feel a bit embarrassed." His honesty only endeared him more to fans, who cheered even louder. Jimin, ever the empathic voice of the group, expressed deep gratitude, "Thank you for waiting, from the pandemic all the way to our enlistment. Now that we're back, we'll start painting the picture we've been preparing. We'll show you better things from now on. Why this matters more than a comeback stage." For many, this unusual non-event fan meeting may seem underwhelming. But to the millions of BTS fans who understand the group's ethos, it was a profound statement: connection over spectacle, sincerity over showmanship. Rather than orchestrating a typical K-pop comeback moment, Jimin and Jungkook returned as real people, not just idols, who had been through hardship, discipline, and personal growth. The military had clearly changed them, not by stripping away their charm, but by deepening their character. Jimin shared, "Military life wasn't easy. But eating together, struggling together, those things helped me form deep bonds. I'll remember these memories and share them with you over time." He also offered a rare piece of social wisdom: "Now that I've experienced it, I can say that military service isn't an easy place. If you see a soldier on the street, try to say something kind. It means more than you think."